Where is it now? But let's get back to the Miami Heat overall, right? We can start with Caleb Martin, who people thought should have been the Finals MVP, and I was just like, no, that's not. Jimmy Butler did everything um, to give them the edge in that series, give them the edge over the course of the playoffs. Jimmy Butler's the guy. He should be the conference Finals MVP. Let me just say that, get that out the way right now. But talking about Caleb Martin, he was cut from the Charlotte Hornets. He was in the G League, was signed by Miami, 4 years, $30 million, and averaged 9 points on the season. Over the course of the playoffs, just becomes a marvel to shoot the ball. I think Tyler Hero being out of the lineup gave these guys opportunity. And Caleb Martin showed up, getting 19 points, 6.4 rebounds, did a good job on the boards. He had a couple of double-digit rebounding games. But his ability to shoot 60% from the floor, 48% from three, and 87% from the free throw line. I can't say enough about Caleb Martin, his ability to step up and really torch the Celtics, unfortunately. I hate this part. But his ability to shoot the ball really paid dividends, really kept them in games at certain stretches, especially when Bam and Butler were struggling at those points in time. And his ability to come from where he came from and turn the series on his head with his shooting, because without him, they do not win this series, in my opinion. His contributions there, being the second leading scorer on the team during the series, you can't ignore that. And his big playability, the ability to knock down shots and just keep Miami answering. Like, he was a lot of the times the answer, along with Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, guys like that. And the Miami Heat shooting is so puzzling because during the regular season, they shot 34%, but they were number 27th in the league. They come into the playoffs, and have turned their weakness into a strength. And that's the thing about Miami, the adjustments, the ability to get better shots, because their offense was, I think, dead last in the league. I think it was close to last. I think Cleveland was last in terms of pace and stuff like that, and that affected their offense. But one of the lowest offensive teams in the league, and then the ability to just say, hey, we can improve here. You usually do that over the offseason, over the course of the season, like, hey, we can get better in these certain areas. But not over the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Like, the worst rebounding team in the league just doesn't become the best rebounding team in the playoffs. The worst defensive team in the playoffs bracket doesn't become the best defensive team all of a sudden. Those things usually don't happen. So to see the Miami Heat be clusterfucks, right? Like, not be able to knock down a shot, to turn into these 3-point marvels from Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, fucking Caleb Martin, like, all these guys just making all these shots. It's like, huh? Uh-huh. So to just see that and just see Miami improve on that and being able to attack that way, and especially from 3-point range, especially against the Boston Celtics in the series, shooting, I believe they shot 43% in the series from three. That's like Warrior shit. Right? Like that stuff is not supposed to happen at any point in time, right? Like, that's Warriors type shit. Shooting that well from 3-point range. I can't even understand that. It doesn't make any sense. They just started shooting the lights out. And that's what comes in the playoffs, right? Like, teams get hot. Usually certain players get hot, right? Like, get streaky, go on a hot streak, get you a couple rounds there where they shoot the ball really well. But as a team collectively, it just doesn't make any sense. And I can't explain it. They're getting good shots. The guys are taking the same shots. They're attacking the same way. Maybe this is a way for the Tyler Hero injury to kind of play a part on that. Like, guys get a little bit more opportunity. The ball isn't in his hands as much. He's not taking those shots. But to trickle down to Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, like, who are these guys in terms of the NBA echelon? Of course, if you're an NBA watcher, you know who those guys are. Those guys are good players. But the ability to turn this on like this, like that, Gabe Vincent last year was that for the Miami Heat, the last playoffs. But Caleb Martin was averaging 9 points and now comes to average 19 points. Very puzzling. I don't understand it, but it obviously speaks to Heat culture, right? Like, stay ready, get these guys involved, give them confidence to shoot the ball. Jimmy and Bam need those guys to shoot the ball to have any chance to win and to instill that confidence to them to that level. That's why the Miami Heat are in the NBA Finals, right? Like, is Jimmy is led by Jimmy Butler and Bam, but these other guys that they brought along with them, Eric Spoelstra with them, giving those guys confidence, like, yo, you guys are going to get your shots, and we need you guys to make them. And those guys came out and made them. And that's the difference in the series, right? Like, that's literally the difference. The three-point shooting is literally the difference in this series. Do I think it's the Celtics defense, which I'll get into in a moment. But, yeah, kudos to the Miami Heat. You got to respect those guys, right? And now this is a rivalry, right? Like, you think about 2011, believe that we met. That was the Heat beating us in 5, I believe. The 7-game series in 2012 where we thought we had them. Of course, we all remember Game 6 LeBron. And then the 7th game where they kind of just put us away. 2013, I believe. I think we lost to the Knicks that year. And then we come back 2020. 2022 last year, and then this year again. So it's kind of a rivalry right now, and I don't like the Miami Heat getting the upside on that. But when you think about that, just how these teams are going to be going back and forth, hopefully we're able to get them again as a Boston Celtics fan. And them and the Bucks, like, I want to go after those guys and really try to make the Eastern Conference have rivalries again. But hopefully this can become a rivalry that continues for the next couple of years. But with that being said, we have to move on, because now we got to talk about my team. If you like what you're hearing, like, comment.